What is going on, guys, and welcome back to my new video, to another video. And in today's video we're going to be looking at high probability trading zones and why trading zones fail. So without further ado, for those that are new to this channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button and also drop a like, and make sure you turn on your notifications to get notified whenever I drop amazing content like this. It's been a while. I dropped something on Forex and I said, okay, let's do it today. I'm going to remake one of those classes that I did during the course of the year, and I'm going to make a video and post it online so that everyone can watch and learn one thing or the other. So first thing here says on the flyer, it says master high probability trading zones and why zones fail. So we're going to be looking at it together in just few minutes, how to spot those high probability trading zones and why zones fail. So first things first, I'm going to start with becoming a master of the charts is what would allow you to be able to decipher or to be able to tell that this zone will be a high probability trade or a low probability trade. But I'm going to try my best to show you and to spot these zones, so that these zones will be zones that would work out well for you, and then you can term them as high probability zones. So I'm going to be starting with all these zones that I've drawn here, and look at how I took trades from all these trades, even though they look like they are not even going to play out at all. So the first one I have here is this supply zone here. So I'll be using my tool to draw it out. Look at this supply zone here. Would I say that's a high probability supply zone or a low probability supply zone? What I would always do is I'll draw out all my zones. I'll draw out all these demand and supply zone I can see on the charts. Whichever zone give me entry is my probability zone. Whichever zone give me entry is my high probability zone. So how would I know is a low probability zone? We're going to look at it also in a few minutes. So first things first, when I saw this supply zone here, so how is it a supply zone? Because I can see a break of structure here, so definitely the supply zone. So I got this break of structure here, and that's more than enough. And then this is the supply zone, if I'm correct. Then the entry would be on the 15 minutes time frame. It's as easy as that. So let's go to the 15 minutes time frame to just quickly check for entry. Let's quickly do that, and as you can see, I got another 15 minutes break of structure here again. This is it here, broke this low, boom. Where is the supply zone? This is the supply zone. And what happened next? Boom, price touched it and dumped. No stress, you can see. So saying this one is a high probability zone, is a low probability zone, it depends on what you are looking at and what you are drawing. So another zone I'll be looking at as a high probability zone is this zone. I was 100% sure about this next demand zone, even though it didn't really play out to, it didn't give me 50 pips. But how did I know it was going to be a good or a high probability demand zone? Look at this. I saw this demand zone here, nice. I saw the break of structure to the left, nice. Then I saw this inducement. So inducement is also a good way if you can't see anything. Look at this beautiful inducement. I believe we all know what inducement is. When price is trying to first take the trade, first trying to touch the zone, and then eventually touching the zone. So this is 37 pips, beautiful trade. So why did this zone fail? Yes, you can see that I'm already entering into the second topic now. Why did this demand zone fail? Why did it not give me 50 to 100 pips like this one here? I'm going to look at it now. So this zone failed because when you're already looking at it again to the left, I don't like decorating my charts, sorry. When you look at this zone again to the left from here, let's zoom it in a little bit. Right before the inducement, there was a break of structure here. There's a break of structure here. Look at that break of structure. Where is the supply zone? There's a supply zone here. So that means this demand zone might fail. This is what I always tell my students. You have to know all these things. If not, you just be trading and you'll be looking at your trades are not playing out. What's going on? Look at this beautiful supply zone. So you cannot expect 50 pips to 100 pips here again from this demand zone, even though it's a high probability zone, you can see why that zone failed. And you can see what happened. Price is on 37 pips. I took 37 pips here. Boom, I went out of the market. I TP'd immediately. I didn't even waste time. So now looking at this 4-hour supply zone, will this zone be a high probability or a low probability zone? It should be a high probability zone. Why? Because there's no demand here that will push price up. The next zone is here. And you can see that's where I traded today. Beautiful, beautiful trades. Beautiful, beautiful trades like this. So let's deal with it little by little. So I missed this sale. I also pinned. So let's break it down. Now look at the supply zone, right? Then what will be the entry? 5 minutes or 15 minutes, depends. So let's go to the 5 minutes entry. Let's go to the 5 minutes entry. Remember, this is the buy. The buy is the dwell. So now this is the sell, right? 5 minutes entry. So for me, I didn't really use 5 minutes entry. I used 15 minutes. So that's the mistake I made, because 5 minute entry started from here. 5 minute entry started from here. I should have entered with the 5 minutes. I didn't enter with 5 minutes. So that's the initial mistake I made. So this is the initial entry. Then supply zone for the entry. And then stop loss would be here. I always use 10 pips stop loss. Stop loss would be here. So this would have been the initial, what's it called, entry. But you can see, and it's played out well, but I didn't do that. Okay, so that's the entry. I've shown you the entry. So now I now use 15 minutes since I missed the 5. I went to the 15 minutes. You can see now. So I went out to the 15 minutes entry. I saw this nice break of structure again. And then this is the supply zone. Then boom. So the only mistake I made here was I should have used this entry. So you can see how I missed this beautiful trade. Beautiful trade. Without stress. No stress. Nothing. Beautiful in and out. So we are good. We are good to go. So this is a high probability sell setup, because there was no other supply zone or demand zone that will push this price to the upside, just like the way there's a supply zone that pushed this price to the downside, that didn't allow this buy to take place fully. So you can see why this demand zone failed. You can see why this demand zone failed. That's because there was something at the top that would push price down. Now, so let's keep going. So we missed the sell. I missed the sell. I always send all these trades to my mentorship group. So I missed okay, this is it. You can see missed, delete, erase the sell for today. Imagine I said looks like a low probability trade, so I'll go into that in a minute and look at what happened. It's played out well. So the other trades are here. Beautiful trades. So in fact, there's a lot, and everything, the withdrawals are placed without stress. Beautiful trade. So I said it was looking like a low probability trade. Let me tell you why. So let's go back to the 4 hours, because there are some times that you would almost know that is a low probability trade. Okay, the next one is identifying a low probability setup. Okay, I'll explain everything right now also. So this is why that is a low probability trade. That was because I was inside this trade 37 pips, and this one had not hit CP. So I was thinking price would come back to this zone and play out, and price did exactly that. So in this market, you have to be very smart. So I was like, okay, I took a buy. It had not hit CP. What if market is still trying to, retrace from here, this 15-minute zone? And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And look how it happened. Price hit it and went up. So I was like, are the buyers still intact? But what made me not less skeptical was that, okay, I already had the 4 hours here. And that's the supreme. That's the supreme of everything. So that means this one, your time has gone. So that was why I said it was a low probability trade. So that was how I saw that, okay, this one might be a low probability. And that was even why I didn't trade it here. That was why I'm like, okay, let's just risk it here. Then let's see what's going to happen. And imagine I missed the old sell trade. Now let's go to the buy. Let's go to the buy setup. So during the day, which was today, I thought I didn't even know there was news or anything. So I've broken down how I took this one and all this one in here. So I was a little bit bored today, and like market is dry kind of. So I was trying to look at here, this 4-hour supply, right? You can see that that's where the TP is 50 pips. So I was trying to look for a sell setup, since I've been following the sales. I'm like, okay, and I saw this beautiful demand zone. Wow, beautiful. So I drew this one. I was having a live session today with one of my students, so I didn't send this one to the group. So this trade was taken live. So I was having a live session. So I drew this out with the students, and I'm like, okay, we should expect price to push up into the supply, and by the time we'll be done, you take the buy, we take the sell. So that's exactly what I was expecting, right? So now this one was not a high probability or a low probability, but I saw something. I saw inducements. You can see, so these are ways to identify. But you can see I didn't even draw it. I don't like decorating my charts at all. I don't like it. I see it as bragging. Those that do it on Twitter, I see it as bragging. So this is inducements. I see it as unnecessary decoration. So I saw this inducement. I like, okay. So I explained to the students, because it was a one-on-one mentorship. If you also want a one-on-one mentorship, is a yearly access. You renew it every year, 250 USD, but you have access to me. We would always do live calls and we'll take trades together live if there is opportunity for a market entry. So this is and I took this one live with the students, but it didn't play out immediately. Okay, it was immediately because there was news. I didn't even check news, so it just went boom and we're done with the class. So let's now go to the entry part. Let's go to the 15 minutes. You can see there was nothing here. My own target was that, okay, let's take a buy and then we'll continue with the sales here and look at what happened. God is the greatest. So before that, we also saw something. I shouldn't be sharing that here actually, but there was couple of trades here, so that gave me more confirmation. I saw this 15 minutes demand here. What's going on? I saw this 15 minutes demand here again. What's going on? I saw this 15 minutes demand here again. What's going on? I'm like, this is a high probability trade. So this is what is called order flow. So this is a sign of high probability trade. It's a sign that this trade will be a high probability trade, especially on a lower time frame. If you see order flow on a smaller time frame, ignore. I believe I'm making sense. I've emphasized this enough to my students, and I'm always right 100% of the time. Order flow on a bigger time frame doesn't work. Order flow on a smaller time frame is a good strategy. So let's go to GBP/USD to check for order flows on the smaller time frame. So you can see order flow. I'm like, yes, this is what I'm looking for, and boom, it broke the chart. So that is a little bit of explanation on probability trades and why some zones fail. So we explained why some zones fail, because most of the time there's always a counter trend. Zone. So look at this supply zone here, GBP/USD. So I'll be looking at this on Monday. I'll be trading this on Monday. So I'll be sending this to my students on Sunday nights. This is a beautiful supply zone here for Monday. So let me draw my break of structure, even if there's no need for that. I don't like drawing. So I'm trying to look for a order flow trade. Good. I've seen an order flow trade that failed on the bigger time frame, and that is why I said order flow doesn't work on the bigger time frame, but it's a good strategy on the smaller time frame. Look what happened here. Supply zone 1. When you're trying to take the second supply zone, it may fail most of the time. Second time, third time, it may fail. So look at this sell setup here soon. Okay, there's nothing here. It's played out well. I missed this trade too. I've missed trade this week. I've really missed a lot of trades this week. So I missed this sell, but the other flow, you can see this is a low probability setup already. It's a low probability setup. Seeing a supply zone. Let's just keep looking for that. There was one I saw, and I told my students live. I said this trade is a low probability trade. Don't take it. And when Monday came, it didn't even play out. So let me look for it. Yeah, this is it. You can see. It started here. 1, 2, 3. Imagine trying to take this next one here. playing with the order flow. It failed. It failed. Okay, so these are the reasons why some zones fail over another. So let's keep checking. I just want to explain on GBP USD and I'll be done, because at least I've literally explained the whole strategy. So look at GBP USD. There's a lot of stuff that happened right here, the buy, the sell, and you can see there was reasonable trades here, but identifying high probability zones, because there's a lot of zones here. So why is this one a high probability trade? You can see this one didn't play out. This sell didn't play out. Yeah, I think I lost this one. So it can be part of the game sometimes. Losses can be part of the game. So this order flow worked. That was because I missed this first sell. I'm like, let me just risk the second one. So yeah, I even took the first sell, it didn't play out. Second sell eventually played out. So why didn't I take a buy here? First things first, I was already seeing a supply zone, just exactly the way it happened on Euro USD I explained just now. Why did I take this demand zone here? Nice demand zone. I should have entered the buy, but why did I enter? First of all, I think it was a midnight trade first. Good. Then secondly, supply zone was here, so I'll be taking a very small trade here, just like the other 37 pips trade I saw. You can see 45. So I wouldn't hit TP, so it might not make sense. You can see same thing. Then the sell came, sell confirmation, then drop. Same thing, exactly the same thing. So let me just go far back just a little bit. So look at this trade here. Why did this supply zone not really play out? When you look at it well, this is the demand zone here already. So imagine trying to take a sell here, just as if we are wasting your time. You understand? Just as if we are wasting your time. So these are the reasons why zones fail. But most people just chat me, I drew this, it failed. I drew this, it failed. But you drew it, it didn't fail. That's because we are not seeing the same thing. We're literally not seeing the same thing. Okay, so this is GBP. This zone played out a little bit, but price continued going up. I'm trying to look for trades that I entered again, but I'm not really seeing anything right now. I think I take more trades on Euro USD. So let's quickly do a back touch or back test on Euro USD. You can see, as small as this supply zone is, it's bettered this overall sell. As small as this zone is here, it's bettered everything. So this is what I always teach my students. When you are looking at the bigger view, also look at the smaller view. When you are looking at the bigger view. Okay, so that is very important. So it will help you to identify low and high probability trades. So this is Euro USD. I also traded another strategy on Euro USD, the counter trend strategy. So that's what I did here. Trend was bearish, but I took a buy here, so that was why I was able to enter this buy and enter this sell together, all together. That's the strategy I teach in my mentorship. Also, if you're interested in my mentorship, it's just 15 USD lifetime access. But if you want a one-on-one, just like the one I said, it's 250 1-year access. So you get access to the group, the strategy itself, and also all setups and signals plus crypto. So this is why this one also didn't play out well, because there was a supply zone here. As small as the supply zone, look at this, I got my 50 pips and I'm out. 10 to 50 pips, I'm out. 10 to 50 pips, I'm out. So that is it. So I think that will be all for now. The other explanation would be how to use confluence and order flows without indicators. So I've explained a little bit about order flows. So we'll be talking about how to use order flows and confluence without indicators. As you can see, I don't use indicators. I'll be making the video tomorrow ASAP. So I think that will be all for now. Peace guys. I hope you learned something very powerful and informative today. At least if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you love this video, make sure you please drop a like and also smash that subscribe button. And I think that will be all for now. Peace guys. Catch you in the next one.